This is a free podcast from the BBC. For more information, you can go to our website, bbc.co.uk/Radio 2.
And here.
It's 20 quid.
There you are.
Go on, you can have a bit more of a touch than that.
No, thank you.
See, the free interchange of
Is that real?
favours
Look, have a look at that.
here.
Have you ever seen one of those before?
Beryl and Boyd has just handed over a 20 quid note.
Looks a bit flimsy to me.
You know-
Ink's wet.
Have you checked it for the watermark?
Has he photocopied another one?
He's been dribbling on it again. Now, one newspaper report this morning, we should get about roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, lads.
No.
I'm not a great fan of Yorkshire pudding,
Are you
to tell you
not?
nothing but the truth. What about
You
you?
never know. I know where. Yeah, if you drown it in horseradish, it's all right. But
Yeah.
Apart
No,
from
I'm-
that, it's sort of without status, isn't it? It's minister without portfolio.
Sitting there like a great lump holding the gravy.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know.
standing up for Yorkshire pudding.
Are you?
I love them.
Well, apparently, Kangaroo is the new way to save the planet.
Oh, really?
And indeed, I read an interesting bit by Joanna Lumley, who said that we should cut down on the number of beef and lamb and all the stuff around the world because they're creating a lot of what can only be described as gas.
Well, cows have very antisocial habits, don't
Yes,
they?
they do that. Sheep. Sure, it's the sheep in New Zealand have got the hole in the ozone layer down in the
Are they
southern
responsible?
hemisphere. Yeah, and probably lost the All Blacks the World Cup.
You ever heard a sheep cough?
It's very
ridiculous.
disturbing,
You
isn't
stand,
it?
You sit there looking at the sheep and it goes,
You know what? He has too much time on his hands if he's wandering around fields looking at sheep coughing.
Well, I must tell you, although that was interesting enough in its own way, kangaroos do not,
No, they don't.
hardly ever.
No, they've got special kind of antibiotics or something. What is it?
Probiotics.
Enzymes. They've got enzymes and they all kind of like, they don't do the,
Really?
the windy thing.
Don't?
No, they don't do the windy thing.
And their meat is low in fat and gamey. Bit like yourself.
God, I don't know why I come in here.
for the bounce.
And the money.
Ah, Nigella. Honestly, I get more letters about Nigella, and I understand why. I know I'm not telling you. Adrian says, Nigella's references to whipping smothered in cream, layer cake, chocolate, pear pudding, lamb loins, rapeseed oil, and her dumplings are affecting my health. Oh, come, Adrian. Be plucky, lad. I was sadly disappointed with Nigella last night. No double entendres or innuendos at all. Really, Tansy? We must have been watching a different programme. She threw some crushed chilies on a salad at one moment and said something about, add what you like. It all depends on how much poke you want. And then later she told us she didn't mind if her pears poked out. All very innocent. Perhaps, Tansy said, I should have sent the husband to the country for some fresh country air. Unfortunately, I missed the beginning of Nigella Express, says Phil Attlee, and walked into the room at the moment she mentioned a plumptious beauty. I'm not sure if she's just read a rather complimentary viewer's letter, or whether she was referring to the chicken she was about to condemn to the oven. Long shot, I know. Were you or your other listener paying attention at the time? No, none of us were paying any attention. We were otherwise distracted. Rich T. Biscuit says, this is my first communication with you. Well, I'm honoured, Rich. Although I've been listening to your inane banter for 250 years. Has it been that long, Rich, I suppose, since you told us not to cry for Arthur Negus, or when Tim Brooke Taylor Soldier's Pie, and when Carol's dad couldn't possibly comment? Never mind. That Nigella obviously keeps forgetting where her pantry is. Well, yes. Otherwise, why would she have a big sign on it saying, pantry? I need to know where on earth she buys her chickens from. Well, I'm bound to say that this did strike me with some force. On Monday evening, I get so many letters about Nigella Lawson. She could have her own club here. Monday evening, she had a chicken that took only an hour to cook. That's about 2.25 pounds. Yeah, but that fed 3 adults and 2 children with huge plates full. And not only that, when she went to the fridge for her evening snack, there was a big pile of chicken breast and a whole leg left. They're obviously magic chickens, because the leg, which she jointed when she served it earlier to some of her 23 million friends that call in every day, had miraculously joined itself again. I want some of those. Poultry like this could end famines at a stroke. I'm pleased to see that the BBC is already taking its cost-cutting to heart. Oh yes, we've cut back. Here I can tell you that nothing to eat this morning. Brilliant start, leaving the costumes out of a number of scenes in their latest costume drama, The Tudors and Fanny Hill. Somebody tuned into Fanny Hill the other day and could have sworn it was Nigella, but no. An excellent wheeze, this. Leave the costumes out. Everyone get their kit off at every opportunity. Clothes savings must be enormous. Yes, well, we, as a matter of fact, in the spirit of the new cost-cutting BBC, we're here, Joe and Barrowlands and myself, stripped to the waist and ready for action. Oh, it's nice to get a letter from Gillian Morby, who is the CEO of Sense in Scotland. Myself and Barrowlands went along there on behalf of children in need. We've been able to help Sense, I'm glad to say. And I was there and opened up the Children and Family Suite at Touchbase. And it was terrific. And I'm pleased to say that it's still going strong, Gillian, and we need more and more like that. And, children in need, helping where it can. After giving 2,000 flu jabs in our annual flu jabathon, raising money for children in need, says Sue Hancock, and slowly losing the will to live in the process, Hugh announced this morning flu jabs are a waste of time and money. It's not me, no, one of the papers. You know, they have to fill the newspapers with something. Help! Anyway, says Sue, and the nurses from the Burnham surgery in Burnham-on-Crouch in Essex. Great. Look, I thought I'd send a little note about a book of odes I wrote with Crookie, Katie and Horatio Q. Mad Mary Pridmore added some too. So could I ask for your attention? Give our book a bit of a mention. It really is a fantastic read, and it's all in aid of children in need. Wilting, £7.50, a steal. Check to Mad and Wilting, P.O. Box 3286, Calne, SN11 9WN. And let me tell you, every single penny of that, as always, goes straight to children in need. And my name is Hamish Thompson, and I'm 9. And I get around in a wheelchair. I'm a great fan, and I fundraise every year. I'm doing a coffee morning and a children in need stall at Sherwell, North Devon, on Saturday, the 3rd of November. You can have a discount if you're down this way and pop in. Well, I hope plenty of people will pop in, Hamish, all for a good cause. We're a scant 3 and a bit weeks away from the big night, and of course the week in which we do the auction for things that money just can't buy, hoping to raise a ton of money. And if I may look a little bit further ahead, the 17th to 29th of November 2008, Wonders of the Mediterranean. It's a tog voyage, flying to Greece, taking in some of the ancient wonders of the world. Mediterranean voyage aboard the Queen Victoria for 12 days, raising funds for children in need. And we could raise a ton of money on this, so do, if you can and if you want to. And there'll be people dropping in. I won't mention their names because it'll probably put you off, but, you know, Dedicoat and myself and anybody else we can drag up from Radio 2. We'll come on board and really spoil your voyage. But if you fancy finding out about this, you could always go, of course, to www.togscalendar.org, or there's a special TOG direct booking line, 0845 071 0306. Come along if you can. Dear Lynn, Simon Cowell is writing.
Oh, at last.
I've got a great idea that will help boost your... I think it's because Sharon has probably... she's stormed out, you know. Yeah. A great idea will help boost your own I think it might be a publicity thing, but personal ratings, and might even see your dream of breakfast with bowls become a reality. That's Simon Cowell. It's a snake in the grass. Take your lead from Sharon from my little show, The X Factor, this morning on the 8:20 slot. So you've got some time to work yourself up to this. That's it. I quit. I'm gone. And then leg it out of the studio, leaving the boys to clean up the mess and do the travel themselves. Put in plenty of Welsh names, and that'll sort them out. Of course, by 10 to 9, you'll be back with more dough in your sky and bargaining power aplenty.
That's Simon. He knows a thing or two.
That's the way to do it. I thought I was invincible, says Lawrence Morton, when it came to computers and basic internet skills. Oh, didn't you? And as a regular Radio 2 listener, this should most definitely qualify me to successfully click on presenter Lynn Bowles' biography and not get an early Halloween shock when Ken Bruce suddenly appears.
He's all over me, that man, you know.
He is, and I wouldn't mind he's married, you know. He's married.
Is he? He never mentioned that.
I've said too much.
Is he
I've said too... No, of course he... No, he's not. No. I was fascinated, says Chief Inspector Rufus A. Ramsbottom of the Thames Valley CID, fascinated with your sheep coughing impression on the wireless yesterday.
Ah, the sheep cough, yes.
Go on, then. And talk about a stroke of luck. I'm currently seeking to apprehend a sheep warrior on the Berkshire Downs. So far, no avail. This miscreant remains at large despite our best efforts. So, with your mastery of sheep voicings, we were hoping to tether you to a stile near Bucklebury and get you to go through your repertoire. Rest assured that my doughty officers would be secreted in the trees and haystacks to ensure that Milado is pinched before you could come to any harm.
What a brilliant idea. I'm game for that. I'll be there.
You're a honey trap.
Yeah, that's it. I could do it in an alluring manner.
On the other hand, Ralphie says, are you sure that was a sheep that Charles Nove saw on that field?
Oh.
Quite frankly, I'm a country lad. I've never heard a sheep make that sound. Isn't he a Scottish townie? It was probably a Glaswegian on a Saturday night that he saw.
Oh no, that's...
Yesterday, now you did it again, didn't you? I don't remember this, but then I remember very little. Don't be shy, said, from Inverness. Yesterday I heard Charles refer briefly to the Hosepipe Band. Now,
yes.
Despite being a pipe band enthusiast, this is a new one on me. Where do they play? Do they have a full complement of pipes and drums? Do the members wear kilts? And if so, what's the tartan? More, Charles, more, please.
They're renowned for their pibroch. Their pibroch work is quite extraordinary.
The old
Hosepipe Band.
Pibroch of Donald Do.
Their cover version of George Formby's When I'm Not Cleaning Windows.
The Mussolini song. I'm hanging from my lamppost.
No!
What's on the menu at Wake Up to Wogan? Will it be snorkers or curry or cheese? Will it be cake to lighten the morning or scones spread with jam and Devon cream teas? Whatever the fodder, our Terry will eat it, though crumbs may be left for Charles Nove and Lynn to make sure the team is evenly balanced. Terry well built, Lynn very thin.
Thank you for leaving me out of that one.
I know, but you look very fetching in your new sheepskin, I've noticed. You're getting into it, are you?
Thank you.
You see, speaking of that again, having a bedroom right next to a field of coughing sheep, I can assure you that a polite is the least of it. If I didn't know the farmer was a passionate anti-smoker, I'd swear the rams were on at least 40 a day.
They probably are, yes. I based my impression entirely on a camping expedition once many years ago, and the noise was so absurd that I had to go outside in the middle of the night to investigate what it was, and it was a sheep.
Well, I can tell you it throws sheep into a whole new light. And here are we with a Welsh woman, and you'd think she'd know something.
Well, we don't. Our sheep don't cough. What is it with Scottish sheep?
That's enough about the Welsh sheep.
Yes.
A hearty cough, nothing wrong with a hearty cough.
That was a Welsh one.
It's all going too well.
Yes, it is, isn't it? It's downhill from now.
I'll fix that. Rocky Outcrop says, does Charles Nove moonlight as a butler? Jeeves would respectfully attract attention with a slight cough, like a well-bred sheep clearing his throat on a distant hillside, according to Woodhouse. No, he used to go, Sir... Usually take about 10 minutes.
I don't think I'll do that. I'll stick to the sheep. Right?
Yeah, you and your sheep. You're a constant sort of... like a saw. Here at Ringtones... Lemmy Speak to Him says, here at Ringtones... Ringtones are us. We specialise in supplying every type of ringtone imaginable. And now that you've unleashed your sheep's cough on the world, Charles, our switchboard has been overwhelmed by a call from a customer asking if we could make it available as a commercial download. I understand that you've some old cassette tape recorders at your disposal. Could you manage to get it in the can, as they say? We could do the rest, and before long be heard throughout the land. We'll cut you in for some points. I could confidently promise you not be disappointed. Remember the Crazy Frog?
Those people who did the Crazy Frog, they made millions out of it.
Yeah.
How did it go? Yeah, I'll work on it.
Work on that one.
You need to develop the sheep, I think, beyond the... Yeah. And look, from the...
No hiccuping!
Well, they might hiccup. They have digestive troubles.
Sounded like a sheep calling for its mother. From the desk of Genghis Khan.
theatrical agent to the stars, Ulaanbaatar, out of Mongolia. Dear Terry, oi, what a quacking performer that Charlie Nose is. As soon as I heard him, I said to myself, Genghis, get him booked. So what if he looks like Lofty from It Ain't Our Fault, Mum? Anyone who can pull off a coffin sheep like that early on Tuesday morning is pure gold dust. I could tell it's not the first time someone's told him to cough. Give him my number, Till. I'll see you all right for that book tour in Nepal in December. Thank you, Genghis.
Fabulous.
Insults were hurled in the ovine world when Chazza did his party piece. Their bleating was mauve as Charlie Nove tried coughing a la woolly fleece. Now, many of you is itching to sue or doing with some nasty scam, but knowing old Bossa, who's your... I can't say that.
What? What can't you say?
No, you know what rhymes with Bossa.
Yes, I think that's probably far enough with that one.
Get rear-ended by a ram. Oh, for goodness sake. It's...
That would cause surprise cheap noise. That would be...
And also, not without an element of pleasure. Terry said, "Good morning, Panjandrum. Your Scottish numpty is gravely mistaken. It's not for the first time. No respectable pipe band, even of the hose variety, would be playing a pea-brick. They'd eat this lowland delicacy, made out of small green vegetable spheres and shaped like a Mars bar, and probably deep-fried. The object in question is deep-fried and served with salt and sauce, or vinegar in Glasgow. I'll get me old granny to fry one up for you. I'm sure it'll be a further regional gastro experience for you to get under your belt. But she dropped dead of cholesterol poisoning last week."
I'm not eating a pea-brook at this time of the morning.
Oh, I'm sure you could, you know.
Force one down, I suppose.
Can you remember the odd pea-broch at all?
I did actually spend some years trying to learn to play the bagpipes, but it was a very, very unsuccessful attempt. Really? Tuneless.
My next-door neighbour has a son who went to Gordonstoun.
Oh,
a cruel school, because they don't want him to play the bagpipes. Every so often, he's out on the lawn, tootling away. Yeah, I thought of getting my own back with the old Ilian pipes, which you don't blow into.
They're
you
very
squeeze
dangerous.
them between your legs.
Are you playing that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you want to hear me? Look, don't be shy. I think the problem with Charlie's sheep cough that he's imitating. You're imitating... Do that again? The effeminate Oxford Down instead of the manly Cheviot, which is the native breed of the country he left behind all those years ago. You see?
No. That's authentic native breed. I've checked.
Yeah. They all do that. They've just done it again. You mentioned Miles Nagopoline. On Friday, spurring me my own poor attempt. Catechism of cliché, because Miles Nagopoline used to go into a catechism of clichés that were hysterical. Well, David Coleman has a catechism of clichés for football. What hangs over the issue of England's performance to date in the competition? Question marks. What must be done with questions about the goalkeeper's performance? They got to be asked, Brian. Setting that aside, how did Rooney do in the game? The boy Rooney done tremendous. Did he achieve anything else during the play? He done fantastic too. Can you kindly talk us through your goal? Well, it's come over from the wing like. And what did you do? I've stuck the nut on it. And pray, what happened then? It went in the top corner. Why did you scuff the shot in the second half? The ball bubbled. What did you do in the midfield? We bossed it. How would you describe the game? A game of two halves. How quickly did you leave the field? Early doors. And having won, how do you feel? Over the moon. So, from Gary Lineker, this. So the game is finally up for Martin Yole. Yes, we heard that on the news. The Tottenham manager given the elbow. After lots of rumour and speculation, he's finally off. Funny thing, it didn't end how most of us in the game thought it would. The final blow wasn't at the hands of Sir Alex or Arsene Wenger. Who would have thought he'd be toppled by a team fielded by Colonel Gaddafi? No, Gary. Getafe. Honestly. Media watcher. It's a media watcher. Bill Hollywell. Sceptic. All bright-eyed. Isn't that Sharon Osbourne a one?
I see from the papers this morning, must be true, after stomping off last week's X Factor, because the discerning viewers dissed a couple of her acts, she seemingly made it up. Would she be taking her place at the judges' table this weekend? Oh, what a relief. I saw that. I didn't see the breakup, but I saw her last week. I thought, she's heading for something. She's bubbling up to something. And, a letter from Simon Cowell. Oh, Simon, good news. It seems that Sharon's coming back to our little programme after walking out last week. We were worried, I can tell you, but all's well in the end. Ah, yes. This season's been a tight roller coaster. First Louis was gone, then he was back, and then the dancer lad, Brian, was in, and then he was out, and now this business with Sharon. If we aren't careful, the public might start thinking the show's all about panellists, and not about discovering new acts. I hope there are no more twists and turns before the end of the run. I think I'll have a word with the scriptwriters, get them to suspend all storyline. Now, in much better form this morning,
It was fine yesterday.
Lynn Bowles, who was a
It
bit grumpy
fine.
yesterday.
This is a diversionary tactic, I think. I think you've done something and you were trying to divert attention from it.
Oh, you can see through me.
Yes.
I'm transparent, which is a very good thing in the BBC. Now look, here's a story that will catch your attention. Donny Van Boller. I stopped at a service station yesterday and entered the toilet cubicle. I heard the door shut in the cubicle next door, and a man said, "Hiya, mate." And I thought, unusual, but I replied, "Hello there." And he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm just sitting here on the toilet, same as you." And he then said, "Sorry, I'm going to have to call you back. I've got some idiot in the next cubicle answering all my questions here."
Oh, how many times has that been done?
I don't know, but it's funny, isn't it? Yes. Just a note to tell you how much I love the show. Oh, shut up. Oh, it's to you.
Oh.
From Des Gruntle.
Well, give it to me. Give it to him.
Now that you've taken over from the iconic veteran, vintage legend, it's a bit livelier. I feel a bit sorry for the old buffer, so perhaps you might let him say a few words now and again. Well, exactly, I'd like to be identified with the remarks of the last speaker. It's just that he needs a bit of encouragement. Perhaps he could read out a few jokes about sheep and Black Watch or something simple like that, just to give him a leg up. Goodness knows he needs all the help he can get. Thanks. Love the show.
If only you weren't so shy, Terry, I think you'd get along a lot better.
If I have a fault,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
This was a podcast from BBC Radio 2.
Wake up to Wogan!
Don't forget you can also download free podcasts for Steve Wright, Russell Brand and Chris Evans. Get more information now at bbc.co.uk/radio2.